Hey everyone, welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a topic that can look really intimidating, multiplying rational expressions. But I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to see how simple it actually is. Let's jump right in.
So let's kick things off with a question, just to ground us in something you already know really well. What does something you probably learned back in grade school have to do with what you're doing in algebra right now?
Okay, on the left, you know exactly what to do, right? Multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms, done. Now the problem on the right, yeah, that looks way more complicated. But here's the big secret. It works on the exact same idea. That super simple process is the key to everything.
But before we even touch the algebra, there is one golden rule. This is the pro tip that is going to save you so much time and so many headaches. It's probably the most important thing you'll take away from all of this.
So here's the official rule. Looks familiar, right? Just like with regular fractions. Multiply the numerators together, multiply the denominators together. But, and this is a huge but, if you just jump in and do that right away, you are not taking the smart route.
So here it is. This is the crucial point. Always factor everything you possibly can before you multiply. I really can't say this enough. If you multiply those big polynomials together first, you're going to create this absolute monster of an expression that is a total nightmare to simplify later. Just don't do it. Okay, so this brings us to a really simple, repeatable process that's going to work every single time. Think of it as your recipe for success. It just breaks these big problems down into small, easy steps.
And here it is. That's it. Just 3 steps. First, you factor everything in sight, top and bottom. Second, you look for any common factors, anything that's the same on the top and the bottom, and you cancel them out. And only then, as the very last step, do you multiply whatever's left. So remember, factor, cancel, multiply. That's your new mantra.
All right, enough talk. Let's actually see how this works. We'll start with a pretty basic example and put our 3-step process to the test right now.
So here's our first problem. Now, if we look at it, step 1, the factoring, is pretty much already done for us. Everything is about as simple as it can get. That means we can jump straight to the fun part.
We can immediately see there's an x plus 3 in the numerator and then x plus 3 in the denominator. So we just cancel them out. Poof, they're gone. And just like that, we're left with something so much easier to handle.
All that's left is to simplify 4x divided by 2. Well, that's just 2x. And that's our final answer. See? By canceling first, we didn't have to mess with multiplying and then simplifying a bigger expression. It's just clean and easy. Okay, that was a pretty good warm-up. Now let's level up a little bit. Let's see how this same process works when we've got some more complex polynomials in the mix, like trinomials.
Now this one looks a lot more intimidating. I mean, if you were to try multiplying first here, you'd be in a world of hurt. But don't even worry about that because our 3-step process, factor, cancel, multiply, is going to handle this beautifully.
And here's where our process really pays off. We just follow step 1, factor everything. So the first numerator, x squared minus 4, that's a classic difference of squares, right? It becomes x plus 2, x minus 2. And the denominator, x squared plus x minus 6, that factors into x plus 3, x minus 2.
Okay, now that everything's factored out, we get to do step 2, cancel. And just look at this. It's like a chain reaction. We've got an x plus 2 on the top and bottom, gone. An x minus 2 on the top and bottom, gone. And an x plus 3 on the top and bottom, gone. We basically get to cancel out everything.
And what does that leave us with? This is just fantastic. It shows you the power of factoring. That whole complicated, messy-looking thing, it all simplifies down to just 1. When everything cancels out, you're left with a 1. How cool is that?
Okay, let's take a quick time out because I want to talk about the single biggest mistake people make with these kinds of problems, just so you can make sure you never ever fall into this trap. We've been calling it the golden rule for a good reason. If you choose the hard way, if you multiply first, you are making the problem 10 times harder for yourself. The smart way, the easy way, is always to factor first. It keeps all the pieces small, simple, and manageable. And just 2 really quick reminders about canceling. First, you can cancel a factor from any numerator with a factor in any denominator. They don't have to be stacked right on top of each other. But second, and this is super important, the factors have to be exactly the same. X minus 2 is not the same thing as 2 minus x, so you've got to be careful.
So you might be thinking, okay, I get the process,
But why does this actually matter? When am I ever going to use this? Well, believe it or not, this exact skill shows up all the time, especially if you're going into science or engineering.
Think about it. Anytime you convert units, like say changing miles per hour to feet per second, you end up multiplying by these fractions, right? 5,280 feet over 1 mile. And what do? You cancel the mile on top with the mile on the bottom. That is the exact same thing we're doing here when we cancel an x plus 3 on the top and bottom. It's the same skill.
And there you have it. The secret to multiplying these expressions isn't some crazy new math. It's just about applying a skill you're already good at, factoring. So now that you've totally mastered multiplication, you're actually just one tiny little step away from mastering division too. So the real question is, are you ready for it?